Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Liz, your host here at Crimes Untold, and thank you for the response for the last two videos that I put up. Thank you for letting me hit over 1,000 subscribers. Um, I'm looking over here because I have this for you guys. You guys really wanted me to do another video about the Conjuring House, and I have some notes about things that I've watched, things that I have found on Reddit, things that I'm looking at on the Facebook group for the Conjuring House, which is yeah, a whole bunch of craziness in itself. I also want to thank Simply Strange, which is a fellow other YouTuber here who has been putting out updates as well as a whole bunch of other YouTubers. So thank you for everything that you're putting out because um, the more coverage that this gets, the more help that this lady will get because it's clear that she needs help. Apparently, on one of her newer posts that she has put up, not the one from yesterday at 9:46. Yeah, sorry, Sunday. Um, we're going back to a post that she put up. Was it 4 days ago? Yeah, 4 days ago, where it talks about people jumping on the Looney Tune insanity bandwagon, and talking about slander and threats against businesses that are illegal in Rhode Island and under federal law. Yeah, I get that. But you also have to realize, Miss Nuñez, that your mental health you need to be aware that your mental health needs is a priority, and everything that you're putting out on the internet right now makes it look like you're not sane. I'm wondering because she was visited and interrogated by Boston Police Department, and they were sent within 30 minutes of her putting up a post that's not on here anymore. I wonder if that was a welfare check for her because of the things that she's been putting out. Like one of the posts was about a bird, hearing birds, thinking that she can talk to birds. Apparently, the comments on it is wild. The everybody, social media wise, can see everything that she's putting out. Yeah, it's wild. To touch a little more on the strange Facebook posts, yeah, she posts almost daily, I will say that, about these things. And there's a few posts that are missing, hence why there's some gaps in these days. But one of them, the newest one, apparently is about the first settlers in Rhode Island, Native Americans. I get that you want to talk about some historically accurate things, but she's hashtagging the strangest things. Olympics 2024, World Cup, American Volleyball, NBA, NFL, NCAA, the Great Cherokee Nation. Now, is she just tagging these so they'll go viral? She's talking about Al Jazeera, not the New World Order, Queen of England, King of England, the Wampanoags, the Narragansetts. Do you not realize the history of the Narragansetts? Like, I know you're talking about the Wampanoag tribes, the first people settling these lands, the Wasp colonies, which is the Wampanoags, and things like that. Do you not realize the actual history of this land and how we destroyed the Native Americans to keep this land because we wanted it, to cultivate it? Why are you bringing all this up when all of this is about the Conjuring House, not Native Americans? I get that the land that the Conjuring House is built on, this old farmhouse, I get that this land in itself is old, and the history of it is dating back to these times. But all of the issues that you're having is in regards to the Conjuring House, not the Native Americans. So why are you bringing this up? That just adds to the more crazy that you're like relaying onto everybody. You're spewing all this. Yes, it's freedom of speech, but you're spewing all this and making yourself look more crazy. She also believes that this house is a conduit for her to spread a message for everybody. for the world and for everyone. I don't understand why she assumes this. Um, yeah, I don't understand that at all. Why? What message are you trying to spread to people through this house? Did you just buy it because you wanted to? Did you buy it because you believe in the paranormal? You said that you were a medium, but now you're saying the strangest things. I don't get it. She does, to reiterate the whole about history with Rhode Island, she does say that she includes the history of Roger Williams, who was one of the first settlers um, for the Great Migration to the New World that happened in 1631, which people were actually here before that. So you need to check your histories, my friend. Anywho, um, he could have just incorporated Rhode Island. People were here a lot earlier than that. I have seen documentation for it. You need to look further into the Great American History. If you want to, actually, you can go to one of the museums, which is in New Hampshire, and you can actually look at that history because it'll actually give you more. Because pre-revolutionary history is amazing to learn. If anybody has an interest in it, I highly suggest it. You should look into those. So she does say that they do include the history of Roger Williams as a part of the paranormal and history tours. I get that. And she also says that there's some additional information that's from her research that she added to the tour script. That's your information. Has it been publicized in a historical journal? I don't think so, because you're just a lawyer from Rhode Island who has practiced in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Are you a published author? Are you a published historian? I mean, yeah. Do you think that you know everything? Apparently, because you're trying to use this house as an excuse to spread your thoughts and your beliefs. Yeah. Um, are you trying to get to a false prophet level? Because that's kind of what you seem like you are. A lot of people that think that they are amazing once they take over things. They think they are a gift from God. They think they can take over everything and they can put the information into people that they don't need, which that is clearly this right here. Not everybody wants to know about Anglo-Saxon people from pre-revolutionary times. Not everybody wants to know about the Narragansetts, the Nipmucks. They don't want to learn about the Micmacs because you forgot about those. I am related to the Micmac tribe. They don't know about the Narragansetts, which I think I already said that. The Wampanoags. The Pentuckets. They don't need to know about these people if they don't want to. Not a lot of people are going to know about the Massachusetts colony, the pre-revolutionary histories of all of these. It's really cool if you want to look into it, but not everybody's going to look into these. The Great Migration, which, if you don't know, is about Puritans. The Puritans were removed or wanted to be removed from England, and they were to be executed. I have family that came over due to this, the Great Migration that happened way before 1631. Anywho, to continue on with this, she justifies her talking about this in her Facebook post. I'm looking at it right now as I'm recording this as well, that she continues to speak about people and places. Rhode Island losing their land, and she's referring to Rhode Island as a her. Rhode Island is a state. Talking about neighboring states, Europe, the rest of the Western Hemisphere, the Eastern Hemisphere. I don't know why she is talking about this. She's also tells people to go grab a bowl of popcorn and a pint to go along with it. So now you're justifying drinking and eating while people are learning about different histories. Really nice. And then brings up a great spirit, which says, let us not speak loudly so they can hear in affliction, because too many words spoken by evil people will not stop stinging those under the sun. Why? Why are you putting this in a Facebook post? I get it, freedom of speech, but you're just making yourself seem more crazy. And then she goes on to say, I just want it, just wait for additional disclosures to come through the Conjuring House. And I'm told disclosures about these disclosures by other messengers. What? What do you mean? What disclosures? You're not relaying anything through this. She also goes on to say, I've been told to capitalize certain words to use my full name so more people see this post. Ta-da! For her to go viral. I've also been told that our media outlets in the US don't have freedom of the press. Wrong, they do. It's in our Constitution. It's in our Bill of Rights. Like, do you not understand how laws became a thing? How amendments are a thing? Who signed them into actual being a thing? Do you not understand the basics? You went to law school, so you should understand all of this. But clearly, with this post, you don't. Um, she justifies, I'm not hashtagging any of them right now. If oppression is true, who's being oppressed? You? You clearly aren't, because you're oppressing those who used to work for you, those that chose to resign from their positions because you treated them wrong. And then you try to turn it around on them. Speaking of, we're going to go to a Reddit post. There's a Reddit post that this lady put out, or it was a Facebook, post, but she goes on to say, where is it? I have it right in front of me. So this is posted by, who's the user? Simple Kind of Man. Simple Kind of Man 13. This was put up, well, he's been a person on Reddit, or user on Reddit, sorry, since December 10th of 2015. This post went up about a month ago. I'm surprised people haven't talked about it. So, in this post, it says, Happy July, everybody. So this post is from July. I don't know if it's still up on Facebook. I can go and look if I want to. So she's talking about hateful words coming from those who are not in the Conjuring House, people not supporting them, and as you may know, that this is one of the most haunted locations in the world. Yes, but it's not the most visited. The Lizzie Borden House is actually the most visited, has more guests per year than this place does. And also says that we attract hundreds of people around the globe per month to Burrillville, Rhode Island, to partake in our experiences. She also drops the F-bomb quite a few times in this. I'm told that some of the members of the paranormal community and the government are attacking the Conjuring House. Lie. There are many wonderful paranormal investigators and honest government people who support the paranormal field. True. You're true with that. I mean, you're not wrong. Many members of the community have talked about their experiences at the Conjuring House and their interest in the paranormal, and that the Conjuring House itself demonstrates a continuity of consciousness with people. Basically, being able to be within this reality, in yeah. She goes on to talk about. I'm just gonna not with that. So others, she goes on to say, we don't care about people who attack and abuse people. We consider them evil and wicked. In fact, we never want any person that have afflictions to visit us at the Conjuring House. If you're among the wicked, please stay away. She also goes on to announce all of her new staff, which is, let's see, and one previous staff member who is actually has a lawyer now because of everything that he's gone through, Brian Dansereau. So he's an old staff member. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 new staff members. She says them first and last name in this post. And she says that our reviews are reflecting the great new energy about this staff. There are growing pains with TCH. I'm not apologetic for the needed turnover of the old TCH, which is the Conjuring House staff. Among the reasons of dismissal, cruel and hateful verbal abuse towards others, fraud in their investigative methods, which she's clearly talking about Cody and Satori, in that She said, "I will never be defeated or destroyed now or at any time in the future. So effing be it. I appreciate the township of Burrville for their support and guidance through this. They have helped the Conjuring House grow and attract tourists from around the world since I bought the property in May of 2022." Then she goes on to say that anybody in the paranormal field is welcome to come and visit the Conjuring House. This post is directed towards certain people in the US and elsewhere who I'm told are abusing and attacking others for no reason than them to terrify them from continuing their interest in the paranormal activity. As always, any of those that are in the paranormal field are welcome to come and do any, investigations at our location. We continue to be thrilled for people visiting and so on and so forth. She also says that we look forward to hosting those who are good and not those that are filled with hate, wickedness, and low density persons who should look in a mirror rather than rage at others. This post is, again, she reiterates, this post is directed towards people in the U.S. and elsewhere who I'm told are abusing and attacking people for no reason other than to terrify them. She basically just repeats the same thing over and over again, just in different words. She then goes on to say that the state of Rhode Island has defended this business as it's come under attack from wicked and evil forces, from freedom of expression, and then adds in the founding in 1636 by Roger Williams at the end. Yeah. It's very clear to me that this lady she needs lots and lots of help. She doesn't want to get it. And I also pulled up the news article with Cody and Satori, who were interviewed for the news by 12 News. So Cody and Satori were the ones that experienced the loss of things in a barn fire, which you probably all know about. And Jacqueline Nuñez refused to reimburse them. She said for them to give her a list of things that were in the barn and that she would get in touch with the insurance and then the insurance would pay them for their things. She then went on to blame them for the barn fire, which is not right. Satori would ask for an update and she would say, "Oh, I need you to send me a list again," which she did, or Cody said that he would repeatedly send her a list. And she would say, "You're going to need pricing for those items, so do that and hang on to it. I'll get it from you when the adjuster asks for it." And Cody and Satori thought that at that moment they weren't going to get paid for it, which is true. They did not. Jacqueline then reiterated that she spent $450,000 on renovating the barn, didn't have enough insurance money to cover the contents for it that were destroyed. Their stuff was in that barn, so you owe them the money for reimbursement. That's the point of an insurance payout. So clearly you didn't have the correct insurance to cover this property. She also went on to say that they didn't contribute one dime towards any of the renovations as they were renovating before the fire happened. And she went on to say that in a couple of the exchanges, I did indicate that I would reimburse them. However, I told them a few times that it would be dependent on the amount of insurance money she would receive. It later was determined that the fire was caused by improperly disposed things that would combust spontaneously if they were left inside of a trash bag in the barn. This is when they would be blamed for the fire. She also blamed them for hiring somebody who had no experience with painting or using oil-based wood stain in the barn. Then would further go on that the reason the barn went up in flames is because they hired somebody, not me, who failed to read instructions for the highly combustible rags. They also failed to acknowledge their role in the destruction of the barn, and the items will not any of the items that they would be reimbursed for would not bode well for their future museum aspirations for the Conjuring House. She then would say that she would be suing them for their recklessness and any negligence against them, which is interesting because they also deny ever hiring Brian, because Jacqueline's the one that hired Brian. He's also the one that Jacqueline said was, stealing money from her from the cash drawer because John Arnold, the man that died in 1800s, the original owner of the house, is the one that saw him steal money from her. But she's being investigated by the Department of Labor for Rhode Island for not paying Dansereau a back pay of $9,000. He's never been accused of stealing, which he has reiterated multiple times, which I talked about in my previous video. He doesn't think, or Cody and Satori, and then even Jason Haas now, doesn't believe any of these accusations are true. They all go to bat for Brian, saying that he's the most dependable person that you will ever meet. He's the most honest and kind person ever. He's an ex-paramedic. He's not going to put people's lives in danger. He's not trained to be that way. Cody then went on to say that every room in that house has surveillance audio and video. And if Brian did anything, where's the proof? Because she would have it, which is quite ironic. I don't know if she realizes the magnitude of things that she's doing. She's harassing Jason Haas. She's harassing the rest of them. She's harassing the ex-owners that she bought the property from. She's going online and putting all of these things out that just clearly does not do anything for her character whatsoever. It doesn't do anything for her in a positive way. She also is saying that her Facebook is hacked, that there's bots that are posting these things. Yeah, I don't think she is of sound mind. And as another United States citizen, I do have the right to say that I don't believe you are of sound mind because of the things that you are putting on the internet, which is covered under the Freedom of Information Act. So if you don't follow that or know anything about that, you should read upon that, although you should because you are a lawyer. But that of right now, she has been investigated by or interrogated by Boston police after she put up a post on Facebook. I do believe that was a welfare check for her mental health, but I am not fully sure of that. I'm sure we're going to get something else about that within the next few days, as she is going on Facebook quite regularly. So we're going to have to kind of wait for the next one, which sounds really bad. And I will say she keeps opening every single one with I am Jacqueline Marie Nuñez, the owner of TCH. I've been instructed to write my full name so this post reaches more viewers. No. So, yeah, the smartest thing this lady could do is to retract her name from everything and just say The Conjuring House. Any post is from The Conjuring House. She doesn't have to put her name on everything because everybody already knows she's the owner of The Conjuring House. To save yourself, to save your business, just take your name out of it and just put The Conjuring House, because you bought this house for unknown reasons. And you bought this house from good people who thought that you were going to do something good for this house, but clearly you're not doing anything good for this house. You've literally made a mockery of this house by what you're saying. Everything you're putting on the internet, everything is a complete mockery now. Nobody wants to go to this house because of the things you're saying. Like, half of the comments that I've seen under here is bananas. Absolutely bananas. Like one person saying, is effing experiences when you go to have coitus with a ghost or a code for swinging parties? When you have that type of comment underneath your post, even on Reddit, man, that's really bad. Another person talking about the short answer is that this has been going on and off since the first of the year. Somebody saying that she's an alcoholic and is mentally ill, and we've been watching this train wreck since the beginning of January. That's a comment off of somebody's post that, that's a sub comment on a comment that somebody put up here that said, someone please drop the T, I'm begging. This person then commented under it, which is Signal Carpenter 304. This person has been a user since June 22nd, 2022, and that's who put that on here. Another person then sub-commented, you seem to have some inside info. This person then commented back, I can't say much because I work for somebody that's involved. Jason Haas is doing a live 8 p.m. on Friday night, and that will answer a lot, which they Jason Hawes Live did answer a lot, which is great. There was another comment underneath it that said, as soon as Satori's reel on Instagram was posted, the paranormal investigators who have been making content about them since obviously the Sam and Colby episodes, the span of 5 that we saw, it says that, hold on, who have been making content about them since the episode at the house released videos to profit from something they have zero to do with. Another creator made 3 different videos in 3 hours. I've met the owner of the Conjuring House. I am an empath and I could not stand to be with this person. Something about her just gave them a really bad feeling. This person also couldn't wait for Jason's live to go up. His reputation is solid and people believe him in the community. This person also feels bad for everybody who had to resign because nobody deserves to be abused at work. Nobody deserves to be abused at work. It sucks. Trust me, it's happened to me. This person that commented that is Clever Critique, who has been a member since November 23rd of 2023. They also went on to say, did you see the live? I was floored. They brought up all the receipts. Couldn't believe that the owner of TCH pretty much stole this house from the old owners. Jason Hawes also thought about buying the house, which would have been awesome because then it wouldn't have been an issue for anything. They also brought up the fact that how much she's charging a person a night for investigation, which is $1,500 a person. The treatment of Cody and Satori, how she treated them as basically circus performers. This is verbatim what this person has on the Reddit, and I will put it down below so you guys can actually look at it because, man, it's crazy. The old owners who had a lien put on it, so they had to sell it to her. They didn't have money for the court battle, and they still stayed on with the house to make sure that it was respected. That's why they had to sell it. Because they had a lien on it, they couldn't afford it anymore. Prior to that, in this comment, where is it? His exact words were, honestly, it just proved once again that Jason Hawes stands up for people in the paranormal community and is not scared of being sued. His exact words were, I will bankrupt her ass. Jason Hawes is pretty good. He's honest. There's some, like, my husband thinks there's something weird about him, but he has everybody together in that live, which if you haven't watched it, please do. It's very good. And this person goes on to say, I feel sorry for everybody. The old owners feels like they feel sorry for them. And this lady is literally turning it into a cash cow for herself. She doesn't care about it. She doesn't care about the spirits there. She doesn't care about anything. And it's true that if people don't understand the paranormal, they're not going to understand how to take care of a paranormal business. She is not only just disrespecting the Conjuring House in itself, disrespecting herself, her employees, her ex-employees, all the ghosts there that remain there, the histories of itself. She's not respecting any of it. And it's really sad because this property does not deserve it whatsoever. There's also a comment under here about somebody saying, I always question things and play devil's advocate. I watched the live and only have more questions and concerns. He also talks about how Jason Hawes is Satori's dad, which is true, and how Cody and Satori have been outed as frauds. I agree with this and don't agree with this because there's 2 different channels that tried to debunk their method, and that was Sam and Colby, and it was also Project Fear. Project Fear did it as well. They brought them to a completely separate area, as did Sam and Colby, to try and debunk their method of things. And whether people believe it's real or don't believe it's real, that's up to you. They've also done it in other investigations as well. If you didn't watch the new taps where they brought Cody and Satori on, and they did it in multiple locations, they do it there as well. So you can't fully say that they're frauds when they're doing it not just at the Conjuring House, but at other places as well. So people have to keep that in mind. Yes, you have to play devil's advocate and you have to understand both sides, but clearly Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. And yes, the old owners, they made profit off the house, but obviously half of that has to go towards a lien on the house. I understand that. You also have to pay fees for like buying and selling costs, closing costs. You have to pay all of that. If you don't understand that, then clearly you need to read into certain things when it comes to buying and selling homes, because either the buyer pays for the or includes the closing costs in their like buying amount, or the buyer and seller do it 50-50. The seller does it. There's different things when it comes to purchasing properties. There's also, you have to pay for the stamps for all the paperwork. You have to pay for your attorney. You have to pay for your real estate agent. You have to pay for all these things. They're unknown costs that you don't think of when you go to purchase something. It's like buying a car. If you do a lease, you have to pay your first lease payment up front. If you do a loan, you have 45 days to do the first payment. That gives you a little more leeway, so then you can go register your car. Or you could just save your money up for a little bit for your 20 days, do it on the 20th day. Then you have more time, especially, well, typically brand new cars already inspected, so you already have a sticker. So all you have to worry about is your registration. And then bam, first payment. When you lease something, you got to pay for it upfront. Yeah, so it's the upfront lease payment, then you have to register it, and then bam, another lease payment. It's these little things that people don't pay attention to. And I know I just used that as an analogy, but I wanted you guys to kind of understand that. I understand what this person is saying, but at the same time, you have to fully step back. He says he's found her quite compassionate about her beliefs. Yes, she is. But at the same time, she's overbearing. And yes, the things that she's doing, she does need professional help. She does need to take a step back from being online. It is sad, people attacking her, but at the same time, if she is an alcoholic, she's not going to admit it until she knows she has a problem. If she is an alcoholic, she's not going to want help until she wants it. If she's an alcoholic, her detox is going to be really bad. Alcoholism is really big in the United States, and it is the worst detox. It takes 14 days for it to fully go out of your system. I know, because I used to work in a rehabilitation setting, and it's in that field. That's one of my multiple backgrounds that I've worked in. It is very hard to help those that don't know how to help themselves or don't understand when they have a problem to get the help they need. So for her, she's not going to understand that she is being unjust or unruly or has a problem or is being negligent until she comes face to face. Would it be wrong to give her an AA book? Yes. Would it help her? No, because she doesn't know what to do with it yet. She needs to be put in the correct, like on the correct path in order to get the help she needs. So that, my friends, is all the stuff about the Conjuring House right now and how crazy this Jacqueline Nuñez person is. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.